The best quarterback in the upcoming 2024 college football season spent last year tearing it up and lighting it up in relative obscurity in Pullman, Washington, playing for the Washington State Cougars. But Cam Ward is now spinning it down in Coral Gables for the University of Miami Hurricanes. And in 2024, he's about ready to announce his presence with authority. This is my take. Cam Ward, 6'2", 225 pounds, out of this great state of Texas, takes his game now to the University of Miami for the 2024 season. It's bright lights and a big stage, and this kid's about ready to break out and show the entire college football landscape that he's the man. And while the ACC conference is definitely not the SEC, playing at the University of Miami puts Cam Ward on a much bigger national stage than the Washington State Cougars ever could do for him. And we start things off with the first game of the season where the Canes play the Gators from the University of Florida. That's going to be primetime TV, must-watch TV. And Cam Ward's going to step up and let the world know what he's all about. And Ward is stepping into a situation where not only himself personally, but the team, the Miami Hurricanes, is poised to make a big splash in the upcoming college football season. Cam Ward brings a ton of talent to Miami, and this is what he brings to the table. The two programs that Ward played in before coming to Miami have really shaped his mental and physical toolbox. And let's start with the fact that he played for two programs that ran the air raid offense. And you're going to hear that air raid a lot in this show because it's a thread that goes throughout Cam Ward's entire college career and what he's stepping into right now at the University of Miami. But as a freshman at Incarnate Word in the state of Texas, which is, I'm going to see if I can get this right, it is a NCAA Division I championship subdivision. Back when I played in the 80s, we used to call it 1AA, which is a hell of a lot easier. Anyway, Ward showed up as a freshman there for the 2020 season, and he played for a head coach by the name of Eric Morris. Now, a lot of you may not be familiar with Eric Morris, but he's instrumental in the development and the statistical resume of Cam Ward. Eric Morris was a starting receiver for Texas Tech back in the day, and he played for the legendary Mike Leach. And he ran or was a part of Leach's air raid system, which, you know, he's one of the pioneers of the offense. And obviously, Eric Morris really learned well because Cam Ward stepped in and started lighting people up as a true freshman. So in the 2020 season, Ward won the Jerry Rice Award, which is given to the top freshman player in that division, that I'm going to call it 1AA division. It was a COVID-shortened season, so they only had 6 games that year, but he put up some pretty good numbers. Now, it's his sophomore season where he really blew the lid off. As a sophomore, Cam Ward threw for just under 5,000 yards and 47 touchdown passes. He was named the Southland Conference Offensive Player of the Year. And wow, is it any wonder with those numbers? And Ward probably knew at that point in time that he was pretty hot commodity. So he jumped in the transfer portal and he bumped up in competition and went out to Pullman, Washington, and the Wazzu Cougars. Washington State's offensive coordinator was Ben Arbuckle, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach. Here we go with the air raid stuff again. Arbuckle came to Wazzu from Western Kentucky University, where the Hilltoppers are one of the most prolific passing teams in the country while he was there. He ran a combination of air raid and West Coast offense. But what I've seen on film with Washington State and Cam Ward, there was a ton of air raid principles and concepts in that offense. Now, in 2 seasons there, Ward threw for just under 7,000 yards and really got the attention of a lot of people. And again, he runs into a situation where he's going to bump up just to a bigger stage. And that's where the University of Miami comes in. Now, it probably didn't help Washington State out in the fact that the Pac-12 conference unbelievably was blown up and no longer exists. But while he tinkered with the idea of going into the NFL draft, he decided against that and jumped in the portal again, and he's ended up at Miami. And who's waiting for him in Miami? The air raid. Offensive coordinator for the Canes is Shannon Dawson. Dawson coached at West Virginia and the University of Houston for Dana Holgorsen. Dana Holgorsen has Mike Leach ties. I'm going to tell you a real quick story about this. It's 1992, and this is before Mike Leach was the head coach at Mississippi State, before he was the head coach at Texas Tech, before he was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, before he was the offensive coordinator at University of Kentucky, before he was the offensive coordinator at Valdosta State. He was the offensive coordinator at NAIA Iowa Wesleyan in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Well, in 1992, I was the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach at Wayne State College in Nebraska, which is NCAA Division II. We made the trip to Mount Pleasant to play Iowa Wesleyan, and Hal Mumme was the head coach there. Leach was the OC, and one of their starting receivers was a little dude named Dana Holgorsen. We thought we were pretty damn good on offense at Wayne State, and I think we put up 42 points that game. Unfortunately, we held them to about 68 or 69 points, and Holgorsen had probably 15 or 18 catches in that game. Okay, I digress. Getting back to Dawson now, he cut his teeth on the air raid system learning under Holgorsen. Holgorsen played for Leach. Holgorsen, when he was done playing for Leach, broke into coaching and put up some astronomical numbers in every place that he's been at and coached a number of great quarterbacks and receivers. Okay, that now takes us to the University of Miami, and Cam Ward is stepping into the same system that he has been running for the past 4 seasons in college. And Ward comes in to the University of Miami with a suitcase full of a whole bunch of skills. This is what I really like about this young man. The first thing that jumps out at you on film when you watch him, he has got the quickest release of anyone I've seen in a long time. Pass after pass after pass. When he decides to pull the trigger, that thing is out. It's out of his hand. There's no wasted motion. He pushes that ball up and back and he snaps it through and it's out. Along with the quick release, he's really, really accurate. And he's accurate on all the throws that the air raid requires. The quick game, the intermediate throws, and he's a machine throwing crossing routes, seam routes, dig routes. He throws a hell of a deep ball, a hell of a vertical. And also, he's got the ability, much like Caleb Williams, to throw these air raid screens, which are punch screens and bubble screens, where the quarterback just catches the snap and hand grenades it out there as fast as he can. We used to call it GST, grab, stab, and throw. Grab the snap, stab that back foot in the ground, and get that sucker out. And he's throwing the ball without the laces. And so with those quick screens like that, you don't have time to catch the snap and spin the ball in your hand to get the laces. So you have to have the ability to throw it without the laces. And there's a lot of still pictures, still shots of Cam Ward throwing the ball where he's gripping it without the laces. So he has a great ability to do that, but also the accuracy to throw those things 3/4 or sidearm if he has to. He's just an accurate thrower. And with the ball, he has got a tremendous amount of juice in his arm. When he's able to throw in rhythm and tempo, and usually for him, that is 3 and hitch, 1, 2, 3 hitch throw. That's his rhythm and tempo. He puts gas on those throws. I'm going to show you some clips where he is throwing, the ball 40 yards downfield, 45 yards downfield, and that thing's off the ground about 6 feet the entire way with smoke coming out of the back end of it. So he's got a lot of juice in his arm, and he's very accurate. He throws a very tight spiral, which means it's a very catchable ball for his receivers. Now, another aspect that's very obvious to me watching film on him is he understands protections and hots, and that's a big part of the air raid. A lot of times you've either got 5 guys in protection and you release the back on a free release, or you've got 6 guys in protection where the back is checking first before he releases. Well, as a quarterback, you need to know your protection scheme. And when you're running the plays where your running back is free releasing, that means you've got a 5-man protection. If they send that 6th guy, you got to get the ball to your hot guy. And there's a couple plays on these clips where I'm going to show you where he does exactly that and, throws for easy touchdowns. Now, that may be pretty easy when I say that, but there's a number of quarterbacks that are playing college football that don't get that entirely. And if you don't understand your hots and your protections, that's when you get quarterbacks that get hit in the mouth with guys coming off the edge unblocked, and the QB's still got the ball in his hand and he's getting lit up. Cam Ward understands, get the ball out, and he knows who's coming, who's getting blocked, and that's a great skill for a quarterback. Now, his pocket poise is great. He's one of these guys that when he starts to sense that the pocket's breaking down, his eyes don't come down to the rush. And this is important because if he can't throw in rhythm and tempo and he has to throw off platform, which means he has to move now, whether he's just sliding, shuffling back, climbing up, or he's getting out of the pocket entirely, his eyes are always downfield. Now, there are situations where he will pull the ball down and run, but that's not what he's thinking when he gets off platform, when the rhythm is broken. He's thinking about keeping his poise and trying to still get the ball downfield to his receivers. And the other thing with that is there are plays I'm going to show you on these clips where he just has that coolness about him, where he's out there running in space and he's got guys that are, trying to missile him going 100 miles an hour, and he'll just fake like he's going to pitch the ball to one of his teammates and make those guys break stride or stop, and then he just pulls it down, sticks his toe on the ground, and goes. That game has got to be slowed down for him mentally in order to be that cool and make those kinds of plays. And again, that's not a skill that every quarterback playing college football has. Besides his physical skill, Cam Ward's a good leader. And he does all of the things that you want your quarterback to do in the leadership category. He includes his teammates. It's a team deal. Yes, he's an individual. Yes, he's the guy that's highlighted, but it's not all about him. It's about them, and he's just a key member of that team, and he approaches it as such. And that's such a key part for any great quarterback, that you're not narcissistic, you're not selfish, Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't play with swagger. He plays with a ton of it, and your quarterback has to play with swagger. All right. But he does it in a positive way. And he's got a lot of confidence in his ability, and he should. But that confidence that he has, that rubs off on his teammates. So we're going to see what's up. First game of the season, Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes. And this will be the introduction for Cam Ward on a national stage. Now, there have been whispers the last couple of years coming out of the Pac-12, and people in the Pac-12 knew what he was all about. But Washington State's playing a lot of their games, at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and everybody's in bed on the East Coast, and not everybody saw him do his thing. Well, Miami's on a much bigger stage and a much more TV-friendly time zone when their games are going to be played. And so the entire country is going to know what number one's all about this season. So the media has anointed the quarterback out in Boulder, Colorado as the quarterback this year in 2024. I'm here to tell you the best quarterback in the country this year is going to be the guy spinning it for the University of Miami, Cam Ward. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you enjoy listening to my take on quarterback play and talking about the number one single hardest position to play in all of sports, the quarterback, then please subscribe to the channel QB Unfiltered. Hit me up with comments down below. Let me know what you think of Cam Ward, and let me know what you think about the Miami Hurricanes in 2024. Okay, this is QB Unfiltered, and remember, always throw the ball short to guys who can score. See ya.